I'm Tim Herrera with the Sacramento County Office of Education, here with another Teacher of the Year profile. We're visiting now with Kathleen Ventura with the Twin Rivers Unified School District. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been teaching for 14 years, and I've taught 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, and right now I'm a student learning coach with the district, and my job is to coach teachers, help with intervention for students struggling, and also work with staff development with my principal.
So as a student learning coach, you're working with students and teachers.
Yes, exactly.
Now, how do you do that? How does that work?
Well, my day is very full. I meet with teachers usually after school. Sometimes I catch them during lunch and on the go. But we basically work together to find those students that are having trouble, and then we meet and discuss what I can do to help them, usually pulling them out into small groups in reading or math. And the staff development is another part of it, trying to make sure that district testing is done correctly and on time, and if a teacher is struggling with a certain concept, we'll work together to try to develop her lessons or his lessons. And that's pretty much my day. It's a constant, switching between adults and children.
What kind of an impact do you see on the student when you work in the small group and you give that undivided attention?
I have seen, especially in the math classes that I teach, a big jump in their ability to be successful in math. I have 7th and 8th graders who are really just not ready for algebra, and the first year we decided to do this, my team of junior high school teachers, we saw quite a jump in their standardized testing scores because I was able to slow things down, repeat lessons, and try to hit every standard, but also meet their needs in developing their math skills.
And how important is that professional development for the teacher? Because sometimes the teacher might feel kind of alone or kind of looking for help, and how important is that to work with the teacher that way?
I think it's very important, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback because the teachers then can pick up the pace and maybe delve deeper into standards than they could if they had those students with just no concept of what was going on because they don't have a good foundation. So they were very thankful. They were able to move through the text faster because I had the kids that might need a little bit more time to understand what was going on. So it's been working really well for us.
So everyone needs some coaching now and then.
Yeah, pretty much. And studies have shown that with a student learning coach, a coach to help teachers side by side to develop their teaching skills, then the students are successful. And Twin Rivers has been very fortunate to be able to fund that program, and us coaches have done a really good job, we think.
Now you say you've been teaching for 14 years?
That's correct.
Now, in that span of time, what kind of changes have you seen, whether in the classroom or
well, definitely standardized testing in the 14 years has become very important, and we stress that a lot. At first, I also see a change in students, in their socioeconomic status. Some of the schools that I worked at became the socioeconomic level was lowered, and that comes with a myriad of stress for the student, which makes it difficult for them to learn. But by trying to develop a safe environment, we have done a pretty good job, the schools I've been at.
Do you find it difficult in a lot of cases to motivate some of these students because of all of the challenges they face outside of the classroom?
Well, that does come into play, but I think that if your classroom is a safe place, if you develop a family within your classroom, then they feel safe to learn. It's okay to make mistakes. Teacher makes mistakes. You can make mistakes. It's all right. That's how we learn. And I found that in my classroom, that was what made it work. And we laughed a lot and tried to make things fun and tie it to things that they knew about, or bring in things to help them understand if they had not experienced it before. You know, that prior knowledge is so important.
So you were looking for anything you can to kind of spark that interest?
Yes, I have come to class in costume. I have stood on tables. I have danced, I have sang, so whatever works.
But still, are there some students that are hard to reach, so you have to kind of give that a little bit extra?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Most kids, I find, really want to be successful. And if you're open to listening and you really take the time to think about their needs, then they're very open to it. There are very few students that I've come across that were just, I don't want to learn this. Mm-hmm. I was able to get around that, usually by dancing around them, which they don't like to do.
Not too much anyway.
No, oh please, Mrs. Ventura.
So what inspired you to be a teacher? Was it something that you always wanted to do, or is this a second career, or what happened?
Well, this is a second career, or I'm a late bloomer, I like to say, but I have always wanted to be a teacher. I used to gather all the neighborhood kids and try to get them into a classroom. I don't think they liked it so much, but I did. And I had teachers that really inspired me. I was very active in visual and performing arts when I was younger, and those teachers were really helped me see that that's what I wanted to do for others myself. And then later on, after I had children, I volunteered in the classroom, and that was it. I said, yep, I got to go back. So I went back to school and got my teaching credential at the ripe old age of 47.
Now, is there one teacher in your past who you think about as you teach, someone who inspired you?
Yes, his name is Dr. Lou Negri. He lives in Connecticut, and I just recently got in touch with him and told him how much his teaching meant to me. And he really did motivate me. He was a fiery Italian, but he was just wonderful. You know, he found something inside you and just pulled it out, whether you wanted it pulled out or not. Mm-hmm. And he was just very influential.
You know, there are a lot of people out there who are, thinking about education as a career, mm-hmm. In spite of all the ups and downs that we're facing in education now. What would you say to someone who was thinking about entering teaching? What would mm-hmm. you do to encourage them?
Well, I think that teaching is buying into the future. We have to look towards the future. We can't think short-sightedly. And the other thing is that to be a teacher, to see those young faces and to listen to what they have to say is sometimes magical. And you see the same age come through your door every year, and they're different faces, but the same developmental strides they're making is wonderful. And it's great as a teacher because everything you see, you're like, how can I put that in a lesson? Mm-hmm. And that is great because you're always learning and always looking for, well, I can use this and I can use that and I can go here and there. And you grow as a person as well. And it's just a wonderful profession. And
probably never a dull moment.
No, never.
So how did you react when you found out you were chosen as Teacher of the Year?
I was just so pleased because I'm not always in the classroom, and I always felt that you had to be a classroom teacher to become District Teacher of the Year. But I think that my being a Teacher of the Year as a coach is really showing how important that position is, and other support teachers, our resource teachers, our speech teachers, they are as important to a child's education as the classroom teacher, in a different way, of course, but so I was thrilled.
Well, congratulations to you, and thank you for being with us. We've been speaking with Kathleen Ventura, who is a Teacher of the Year from the Twin Rivers Unified School District. Thank you.
Thank you.